Hello everyone. So today I'm going to talk about the Pytest Fixtures. So what is the Pytest Fixtures and what is the need and how do you use it in your test case, how you are going to reuse it. Okay, so I'm just giving the summary here what I'm going to talk about it. It is a simple, so defining test cases, interpreting test cases, and test fixtures parameterized, and the last one is the report generation by using the Pytest. So let's jump into Pytest fixture. What is exactly Pytest fixture? So Pytest fixture is basically uh, you have a test data, you need to clean up data and you want to reuse it in every test case method. So whenever the need comes, like okay, my test case requires this data and more than once, like you want to reuse it, the same data set, and once the data set is done, I want to clean up and I want to use a different picture for different test case. So you can achieve by using the Pytest fixture. So the more you, like every test case, before it runs, it set up the data and runs your test case and assert it, and then after that it tears down. So that means in general example, like if you are a testing, if you are a testing in a database related, so let's say before your test starts, you want to open a connection, that is your test data setup, and then once your connection is established, you run the test case and do perform and whatever the operations, and then assert the statement, and then once you are done, then you need to tear down, that means you need to close your database connection. So that is the basic fundamental of picture use, and you can reuse it, that picture. So how do you use it in your test case? So basically you have a annotation pytest dot picture, so that is the where you have to use it, annotation wherever you define that method. So let's see the example. So before you want to use it, so you need to install the Pytest. If you are not installed it, so you need Pytest installed library. So once you library installed, so then create a Python file and then start your testing. Okay, so here I'm giving a just over high level. So the Pytest, so here it is importing your Pytest library, and then you define a function called a sample phone book picture. So I'm just taking the dictionary here, so not a database. I will explain to the database in next example or the different examples. Okay, so here it is a pytest dot picture annotation defined on this method. So when you define it, so this one is going to be a picture, and you define your setup data, and once your data is set up, then yield the data. So once your test cases calls, then it set up that data, and once your test cases ends, then it call backs this data clear, that means it's a tear down step. So how do you use it a picture in your test method? So it's a very simple. So just use your name, like the picture name, whatever the picture name you defined it in your test method as a parameter. So here in this test method, I am using the my picture name, so that is a sample phone book picture. So then this picture is going to be here available, and then I am asserting my dictionary whether this key Bob has the phone number or not. So the expected phone number is this. So I am asserting this, and then if this is valid, my test is going to be true. Once your test is done and it call back this data dot clear, so that's a tear down a step, that means you are cleaning up your test data. Okay, so I will this is a just overview how it works, set up your test data and how it is going to tear down your test data. Okay, so let's jump into the demo. Okay. Okay, so here is the example. So I just created test sample phone book dot python file, and the first step I imported, and then I defined is annotation, the Pytest picture, and then same data dictionary, and so on. So once you define, so you can hit the terminal. So I'm using the PyCharm. So if you are using in a different like Visual Source Code or anything, so you can go it in the terminal. So once you hear the terminal, so what you do is just type the command python -m pytest, then the specific test case. So that's it. So let's see the demo. Now I'm running the Pytest. So once the Pytest is successfully ran, so here it is output, it says the one passed. So this is my result. Okay, so let's do it another one, so which is not there, the key. Okay, so let's say Scott. So if the Scott is there, so as per my data set, I don't have a Scott key. So then this test is going to be failed, and after fail the data is going to be clear. So if I run it again, so then here it is the failed test case saying that key error. So because the Scott is not exist, so it returns none. So then asset is going to fail. So that is a demo. So that's it. So this is a simple picture. So we'll see more picture related features. So how do I pass a parameter from the test method to picture, or from the picture, and what are the different scopes of pictures, how to leverage it, that pictures in your test case across the test cases also. Okay, so we'll see more examples next. Okay, so let's see one more example, Pytest fixture with the dynamic parameters. So in this example, I just provide this example simple. So all you need to know is what is the indirect attribute. So it's basically whenever you want to pass a parameter, that parameter needs to be handled in a fixture. So then you go with the regular annotation pytest.mark parameterized and your fixture name or the parameter name and parameters, whatever the parameters you want to pass it, and then this one is needs to be present indirect is equals to true. What indirect is? Basically indirect parameterization in Pytest allows you to pass parameter to fixture before they are passed to the function. So that means before that picture is passing to this function, so then this indirect true is equal to what will happen. So this parameter send it to this picture, and inside the picture you are going to handle it. So so that is the use of annotation. So let's see a demo, so how it works in a bit. Yeah, so in this example, so I have two different test functions. So one is without parameters, so with the default data set, and another function is with the parameters. So I need to pass it the parameter dynamically, and fixture can handle that parameter and basically add it here. So in real time example, like if you have a template, so where the template some of the parameters need to be dynamically replace it for each different test method. So in that requirement you can pass the or you can send the parameters dynamically. So in this example I'm just simplified it to understand the core concept, how it works it is. Okay, so in this example, so I actually I'm passing the one more additional key here to the dictionary. So dynamically the dictionary is going to be added, so the fixture is going to be added basically. So for in this case, like I have two different functions, one is with the parameters, one is without the parameter. So in this case I need to handle it. If the parameters are not coming, so then I don't do it anything, so I just return the default data set. If the parameter is sending a test function, I need to handle it here. So in this case you need to basically add a function, add a if condition. So the if condition is basically, hey, the request is receiving the param or not. So if the param is receiving it, so then I'm adding dynamically whatever the parameter I received it in the fixture to the dictionary. So now my test is going to be I'm passing this parameter, so then the dictionary needs to add it, and then my assert statement is going to be validate the same whatever the parameter I send it to that fixture. So that is a Scott is equal to whatever that phone number I'm expecting it here. And the second one is, so in this case I don't need send any parameters, I just need a default one. So the default data set, we already seen that example. Okay, so let's run this example. So by calling the Pytest, so here it is a command, so I'm running it. So right now, so yeah, it's collected 2 test cases and it passed it. Yeah, that is the dynamic parameters of this demo. So yeah, this is a pretty straightforward.